Nvidia is who? Who is it that all of our swains praise? She is holy, beautiful, and wise. Heaven gave her such grace that she could be admired. We discover that she gained 0.16% on the eve of its quarter, when the entire market was on tenterhooks and up 10 points. That's not a 0.16% gain, though, so we need to know who Nvidia is and what she is. Although you might find it absurd to cite the BARD at the beginning of a business event, I must admit that in my 43 years on Wall Street, yes, 43 years, I have never seen anything like Nvidia. In order to match the passion of this amazing firm, I look for analogies and end up grabbing for something otherworldly. Even those who are completely unrelated to the stock market have been captivated by this $3.2 trillion enterprise, which was only $580 billion 18 months ago. I have never witnessed a single stock have such a profound impact on so many people. It's on the edge. However, at this moment tomorrow, Nvidia's shares will become worthless. Anxiety and optimism have been mixed in the investment world following Nvidia's most recent earnings announcement. Although the company's earnings and revenue exceeded analysts' projections, the growth rate was marginally slower than in prior quarters. Investors are assessing the favorable financial outcomes against possible challenges, which has resulted in a complex market response. The persistent supply chain issues that have beset the semiconductor industry are one source of concern for analysts. Even while Nvidia has shown that it can handle these setbacks, ongoing shortages of essential parts may affect its ability to produce and, eventually, restrict revenue growth. Nvidia's hegemony may also be threatened by the growing rivalry in the AI chip market, where competitors like AMD and Intel are making notable advancements. Nevertheless, a lot of analysts are still optimistic about Nvidia's future despite these obstacles. There are several reasons to be optimistic, including the company's substantial market share, technological leadership, and the growing AI business. Based only on one impending quarterly report, I feel obligated to explain why Nvidia has this elevated position and why, to be honest, it can never live up to the promise of its $3.2 trillion market worth. Why? Ultimately, the quarter is about Nvidia surpassing the expectation, exceeding the revenue figures, and exceeding the earnings projections. The stock needs a $2 billion revenue beat because it has surged so much into the quarter. It also requires a positive conference call discussing a moat roadmap and sales estimate that is $2 billion greater than anticipated. Furthermore, the corporation has just too much cash on hand, so let's add a massive repurchase. Like Sylvia, Nvidia, however, cannot be encapsulated by such a banal collection of digits. The fact that this Prometheus can be constrained by the chains of guesses is practically absurd. What is wrong with this situation? Let me start by stating that the great majority of Nvidia's owners most likely have no idea what the company does. They are aware that it is a semiconductor manufacturer. However, this is only partially accurate. They are aware of how quick its chips are, but they are unsure of the significance of that fact. Though perhaps it is superior to actual intelligence, they are aware that it has anything to do with artificial intelligence. In fact, Nvidia has developed a whole hardware and software platform that is taught to provide responses and deduce what you would require based on the task. The fastest processors in the world are made by Nvidia, and because of their speed, they are able to process all information and then return it in a style that is both intelligent and easy to understand. A knowledge worker can analyze the data and discover things that were unimaginable prior to Nvidia's business idea. If you have ever followed an Amazon recommendation, you have used artificial intelligence. We refer to that as inference. Because it mirrors your brain, Amazon uses this technology to process all of your data, so it will nearly always be accurate. Artificial intelligence on steroids is generative AI, the type that primarily uses Nvidia's technologies. Think of ChatGPT, Gemini, or Meta AI. It creates new material, frequently through language. Additionally, it produces visuals that appear to have been created by a human. It is more capable of writing music than almost any composer alive now. While other firms, such as AMD, have CPUs that can do many of the same functions as Nvidia, Nvidia has a significant advantage because of its high-end chips and CUDA computing platform, which enable in. Let's look at a straightforward example. No pitcher, no matter how skilled, not Cy Young, Bob Gibson, or Sandy Koufax could strike out every player during a game, right? However, a robot enhanced by Nvidia's Blackwell platform would have learned every pitch and swing in history, teaching itself to consistently toss an unhittable ball. The robot would have little trouble creating a game in which every batter strikes out. At the same time, a robot could learn from every drink that James Bond has ever had and consistently prepare the ideal martini. More realistically, it could load and unload boxes flawlessly and would never be harmed by them falling. Even for a genius like Jensen, I believe that's asking too much, even if it can't make all 3 billion of Starbucks drink combinations. In the past, Nvidia was the engine powering Tesla's innovative technology. Until the firm finally created its own internal systems, these GPUs powered Tesla vehicles. These original Nvidia cards are now highly sought-after collectibles that sell for hefty prices on the illicit market. For instance, some rare editions have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and one specific model is presently going for $19,000. Get yours now by clicking the link below, but don't delay. There is very little stock. Although we are taught that nothing can outperform light, it is clear that Blackwell is really questioning not the sound barrier, but rather the speed of light. I believe that our brains are simply too little to fully comprehend all of the ramifications. Luckily, Jensen is aware of the throughput and his brain isn't. In addition, when Blackwell develops the next version of this platform in a few years, it might make him appear positively antediluvian. Next comes the iteration. Once more, we have no idea how all of this computer power will be put to use, but I have a feeling it will be revolutionary. The issue is that, at least not yet, we don't know how to employ all the power. Therefore, it is difficult for us to imagine how revolutionary these chips would be in the future. However, that doesn't imply we won't be able to use it if we can't imagine it. However, we are aware that this magnificence ultimately needs to be reflected in the sales estimates and profits per share chains, which is what will take place tomorrow night. Why do I care more? Because Nvidia's top chips are sought after by all of the big companies, like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta. They want them because they have intelligent people who will know how to utilize them, just as OpenAI's Sam Altman worked out how to use ChatGPT to create everything from paintings to music to haiku. We could see what Cezanne and Matisse would paint, but they are no longer with us. Beethoven and Mozart had long since parted ways, but I could envision Blackwell penning the Saturn to accompany Mozart's lovely Jupiter, or maybe Bruckner's 10th could be heard at last. I am eagerly awaiting the release of Macbeth Part 2 by Nvidia. He has returned, and he is larger than ever. All of these marvels are so fantastical and unattainable that we are unable to comprehend them. Other than when these platforms are limited to an almanac of everything we can query, like ChatGPT, we don't know enough to use them. No, Google can stay competitive with Amazon without purchasing Nvidia systems. Its people are able to solve problems that they couldn't without them, hence it needs them. The goal is to survive. You either wither or get Blackwell, and somebody like Andy Jassy of Amazon or Elon Musk simply outperform you. You're not going to catch up. You don't sit there worrying about how much Nvidia can surpass the projections in a single quarter when you consider all these technological marvels. We cannot evaluate Nvidia's stock based on a single static quarterly snapshot, just as we cannot evaluate other companies. The bottom line: I don't want to be particular, so I tell Nvidia, let's celebrate Nvidia's success. Every mortal creature on the lifeless earth is superior to Nvidia. Let us give her garlands and unexpected gifts. AI workloads are already synonymous with Nvidia's GPUs, and demand for the company's products is predicted to increase as AI applications continue to spread across several industries. Additionally, recent strategic actions by Nvidia, such as the purchase